Hey guys, this is Brian. This is my first video. I just wanted to show you guys how you can name your computer during a task sequence when imaging with Sccm using PowerShell. You just would run this PowerShell script during the task sequence. So there's two ways of doing this. We'll start off with the easier way. So first we'll start with obtaining the MAC address. So we'll create a variable called MAC address, and then we'll use WMI to obtain, sorry about that. So we'll do win 32 network adapter configuration, and we're going to select the network adapter that has IP enabled, so we select the active one. Here we're just going through and trying to find the one that has IP enabled, or DHCP, and where that is true, close that bracket outside, and then we're going to select the MAC address. Nope, not exclude, expand MAC address, and we're going to select the first one. Here we're going to get rid of some spaces also. So we run this, we're going to get our MAC address. Oh, I spelled something wrong. Network. Okay, so run this. Now we'll get our MAC address. So we see what, and that's my MAC address. So next, what we're going to use is a switch, basically a case statement. Here we're going to have the MAC address that we just got, so when the task sequence is running, it's going to obtain the MAC address of the computer that's imaging. So, the format you would have is the MAC address here, so we could put my MAC address. I'll just copy this one. If I could. So that's going to be the case, and if that is true, I'm going to go ahead and call this OSD computer name, and we're going to set that equals to whatever name you want for this computer. So we'll just say workstation-st01, and then you could have as many as you want, hundreds, whatever. And then you could also have a default case here, where if none of that's true, it'll do something, but you really don't need that for this scenario. So basically after that, we're going to assign the computer name, if this is true, to the master task sequence variable for the computer name. So we're going to create a variable called task sequence variable, and we're going to create a new object. It's going to be a con object, and we're going to do Microsoft.sms task sequence environment, and then from here we're going to do task sequence variable dot value, and then here the task sequence master variable is called OSD computer name, and that's going to equal, do that, what we have here. So when I run this, it's not going to work because we're not in a task sequence environment right now, but as you can see, it's complaining because we're not in a task sequence variable, and this is a null, so you can't call null. But so you can add, all your MAC addresses for your computers, and then you can name them. So every time you reimage, the task sequence will run the script, and that way you don't have to go naming each computer. It'll save some time. The second way, which is a little different, it depends on the environment. This way wouldn't work for where I work because we have different areas and we don't want 20 different people editing this file. So what I came up with was a way from PowerShell script to bring in the content from different text files that the technicians create, and then I do my logic and go from there. So I'll show you a little bit more complicated way, but this is probably going to work better for an enterprise section environment. In case you have different people, trying to image computers. So, we're going to obtain the MAC address the same way. So you just copy that over. So, I'm sorry, I should have been a little bit more better, but yeah, we'll do that as a string. So we're going to create an array here. Oh, wrong one. And then we're going to name this text files. And we're going to get content from, so basically, wherever you want, wherever the text files live. So let me create something real quick. So we're just going to create something here. We'll create a new folder. We'll name this text files. And here we'll create, let's say 1. Copy that. We'll just make 3 just to run different scenarios. So we'll just do that. So we'll just get my MAC address here, and then we'll go to the last text file and just put that in there. And so then here I'm just going to put the computer name, workstation, I'll go with 22. You can create as many as you want, basically. So we'll just do that. We'll name each one. Let's say this is going to be 25, 27, 28. We'll just modify this a little bit just to change up the MAC addresses. So we'll save that. We'll copy this and put that in the other text files with different MAC addresses and names. So here I just put E, F, G, Z. Here I just put 01, 02, 03, 04. So then let's go to the second text file, and we'll just say 1. Oh, I messed up on that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we'll go 5, 6, 7, 8. Did I change? Oh, I changed my MAC address. I shouldn't have. So this was 55. Oh, did it up here. Never mind. So let's go with 59 here. Save this. Okay. So from here, we're going to go to that path. Text files, and then we'll do a wildcard.txt. That way we can grab all these text files and go in here. So if you just run this here and call out text files, you can see our text. And there's a space right there, which we probably don't want, and that's probably because I hit enter on one of them. So it'll just be let's just clean that up. So let's run that again, and we'll call it text file again, and there we go. Okay, so from there, we're going to run a for each. That way we could go, while the task sequence runs this script, doesn't go to each MAC address and compare it to whatever the MAC address just got obtained from the host computer. So let's go for each, and this will be your temporary variable, so we'll just call it money sign elements in text files. So open bracket, close bracket. So in here we're going to create another array, and so it's going to be a string array, and we're going to call it text files, let's say split, and then equals element. So the current, so once running the for each loop, each element in this array would get, so I'll show you right now. We're going to split it by the equal sign, and we're going to close that off. So what this is going to do once we run this, and I call it so I can show you, it's going to break up the MAC addresses and the computer name. That way we could separate that. So we'll just say text file split, and that didn't work because I can't. So I just need to say out here, I'll put it while it's running, and then it'll show you. There we go. So here we're gonna split up the MAC address between, we're gonna split up the MAC addresses and the computer name. So let's remove the quotes. I forgot to do that. You don't want quotes in there, because then you'd have to parse that out just to make things easier. So let's just take out the quotes. Save that. We'll just do it for these also. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. Rookie mistake. The last one here. Okay. So I just save that. Let's run that again, and there we go. A lot cleaner. The reason why I can't see the elements after their for each finishes is because it's in the for each loop. If it was outside, then it would keep the data. So I just continue. So here we're going to create another string where we're going to assign the MAC address. So I just call this MAC from array equals text file split, and then the first element. So when you run this for each loop, what's going to happen is it's going to, in the first run, it's going to run this here. So this is what's going to be in text file split, and what we're doing here is getting the first element from text file split and assigning it to this variable, and then we're going to do that for the computer name also. So I just create another string, and we're going to call that computer name from array equals text file split, and then that's going to be the second element of the array. So from there, what I like to do is, because there's always spaces, most of the time, see, like there's a space right there, and that's going to mess you up when you're comparing two strings. So what we could do is just trim the variables. So we'll just copy this bad boy here, paste it there, and then paste it again. What we're going to do is trim, and that's going to trim the beginning of the variable and of the string and the end of the string. And we're just going to say remove the spaces, and we're going to do that for this variable as well, just to stay clean. And we're going to trim it, space. So after we run that, let me show you guys. Oh, that's not going to show though. So the difference, I'll show you the difference. So if we run this, you'll see how it's all straight and no spaces compared to all this right here. So just delete that. So the next thing is we're going to compare the MAC address from the host that's getting imaged and from our text files. So we're just going to do with the if statement, and then there we're going to say if the MAC address equals the MAC from the array, which we got from the text files, MAC from array, open bracket, close bracket. We'll create a new variable, we'll just keep it consistent. So we'll just copy this. Equals, and we're going to assign the computer name from the array from the text files. So computer from array, and then from there, just to show you guys, we'll just output the computer name so you can see that this is all going to work. And there it is, workstation 22. So this was from text file 3 and from this element right here. So just to prove a concept, we change this to 6. Oh, come on. From 6, let's put it. So if we run this now, we're gonna close the PowerShell script because it's cached. So we'll just save that there, close it. So if you get this, it's because you have to allow scripts to run on your computer. So I can say just hit yeah. So from there, now you see that there's no output because this MAC address does not exist in these text files. So we'll just change that back to 55. And we're going to need to just close this again and reopen it. Right click, edit, and then we run this. There it is, workstation 22. So now we're just going to finish it off with now assigning the master task sequence variable for the computer name using this variable here that we got. So if you say task sequence variable equals new object, com object, microsoft.sms.ts, and environment, and then now we're going to be able to access the task sequence master variable. So value, and the name of that is OSD computer name equals, we'll just keep it consistent, so it's going to be this here. yeah, so that's pretty much it. So this is pretty good for lab areas. That way, like, because you always reimage those machines. This way, you don't have to go and name each one. You could just have either text files or from the first PowerShell script we made, and just image it and just run this PowerShell during that task sequence, and it'll name itself. So yeah, this is my first video, so sorry if I wasn't that great, but hopefully I'll make more. So.